Hello and welcome. I am Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe, self-proclaimed. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of our podcast network and a huge reason we are in existence. I love you, Sean. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's player Jake Bosco. They will save you money, or they specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return. Schedule a free strategic tax planning session today. Go to www.greenstreettrust.com. P. Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over, your wife got angry and decided to stab you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. All you have to do is remember, in a pinch, call Finch. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he takes boys and girls, trains them from the ground up in the sport of their choice, helps them to reach their full potential, become the best they can be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. So I don't have a lot going on. I'm home, and I am going to talk about Turtleboy, Aidan Kearny. Aidan Kearny, the controversial YouTuber, blogger, advocate out of Massachusetts, Worcester County. He is going through a lot right now, a lot of turmoil, a lot of personal information being released about him. And I have been a turtle rider for several years. Turtleboy was one of the people who inspired me, I would say, to try to podcast, to try to be a YouTuber. And I know it takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to build an audience. You have to have success. And the truth is, the content really doesn't count. You can produce good content. Nobody gives a shit because nobody watches. You're not a name. Nobody knows who you are. Aidan Kearny, Turtleboy, when I started watching him, he was at, I believe, 20,000 subscribers on Twitter, YouTube. And then he came across Karen Reed. And currently, Aiden and Karen Reed are not on great terms. They are, yeah, sure. Thank you for watching the show. Nick Gurr, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nick Gurr. Happy birthday to you. Love you, Nick Gurr. And Ziaz6348. Thank you for taking 2 seconds to watch this. So, Turtleboy, in April of 2023, he read the indictment on Karen Reed. He was given a tip. Karen Reed's case was just unbelievable. It was like nothing I've ever seen. She was charged with second-degree murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe, who was her boyfriend at the time. The whole situation is outrageous and crazy. And why am I talking about it? Because I ain't got shit else to do. And this is something I wanted to talk about. And I rarely get to talk about what I want to talk about. I get to do shows for other people to help their businesses, to promote UConn. And this is something I want to do because I believe in Turtleboy. I believe in Aidan Kearny. And I know what it's like to go through what he's going through. I wouldn't say that he has made mistakes. He's not perfect. He swears, he upsets people. He can be crass, but he is entertaining. And he gets on a YouTube show and he talks for 3 hours and 50,000 people watch him. I'm lucky if I get 10 people to watch me. So Aiden getting 50,000 people, I think, is incredible. So he comes across Karen Reed and her case and reads the indictment and is blown away. There were so many errors, so many mistakes, so many lies told, and the investigation was corrupt from the start, and he exposed it. And I don't want to rehash everything, but he knew the people in Canton. He knew the situation. Karen Reed goes to Brian Albert's house after they're at the Waterfall Bar in Canton. They're invited to an after party. Now, they're not close, particularly. They're not best friends with the Alberts. They're not best friends with the McCabe's. But John wanted to hang out. Karen didn't really want to go. But she brought John there. John was going to go in 34 Fairview Road, somewhere they had not been. They wanted to make sure they were at the right house. John was supposed to go in, come back out, grab Karen, and they were going to go hang out. What happened is in dispute because we don't really know. We do know, but it's speculation. There isn't any hard evidence. But the truth of the matter is John O'Keefe most likely did not make it. He made it into the house, and they're trying to say that he didn't. The haters of Karen Reed, the haters of Turtleboy, say that John O'Keefe got hit by a car by Karen Reed in a rage, backed into him, ran him over, and then took off and left John to spend hours in the snow dying. The most ridiculous, egregious bullshit that I've ever heard. And then the investigation is incredible. Karen Reed goes back to John O'Keefe's house. She leaves some nasty messages, which made it look bad. And John's still not home at 4 a.m. Karen Reed goes out. She calls Jen McCabe and Carrie Roberts, who is adult, just a complete moron. And they look for him. They go back to John's house, and he's not there, which Karen already knew. So Karen wants to go to 34 Fairview. She immediately spots John's body in the snow. Jen McCabe is calm, cool as a cucumber. Carrie Roberts is as dumb as dog shit. And they're trying to save this man's life. Karen is hysterical. And you can see on the police dash cam, you can see her running to her boyfriend's body. She's performing CPR. She's performing mouth to mouth. She's doing everything possible. And she's freaking out. And Jen McCabe calls 911, whatever. Police come. Michael Proctor from the state police eventually shows up. Yuri Buchanan shows up. Bukaki, as Turtleboy calls him. But the investigation was tainted from the start. You like this? This is going to be my Friday night. You know why? Nobody likes me either. So, Michael Proctor does not record any interviews from the witnesses in the house. Brian Albert, who owns the house at 34 Fairview Road, with his wife, Nicole, I think it's Nicole, they sleep through the entire thing. There's cops, there's ambulances everywhere. They come. Brian Albert sleeps through it, doesn't get up, and he's a trained first responder. Could have helped, did nothing. Brian Higgins had a crush on Karen Reed. Brian Higgins had text exchanges with Karen Reed. Brian Higgins kissed Karen Reed. Brian Higgins, he fell passionately in love. Karen, I love you. You're hot. You're hot. Do you think I'm hot? You're hot. And when he described the kiss in court, it was more than a friend. It was more than a friend. Karen was having some stress in the relationship with John over the kids because she didn't have children of her own. And she was great to the kids, and John thought she was spoiling them. They, had been described as having a tumultuous relationship. But as you can see at night from the CF McCarthy's video, the waterfall video, they're getting along fine. Brian Higgins has to be held back when he enters the bar. He has to be held back because he sees Karen with John. And on the video, he looks like he wants to go after John. He wants to fight him because he texts Karen Reed. He texts her, like, what's going on? I thought I was your guy. Yeah, you said you're hot. You're hot. You want me. Wrong. People in life are not perfect. People in life make mistakes. People in life screw up. Karen had a moment of weakness, and the moment of weakness was with the rhino walrus, Brian Higgins. That's what he is. A walrus rhino, Brian Higgins. So Higgins and Proctor are taking part in the investigation. Jen McCabe is literally the devil. Jen McCabe quarterbacks the entire situation. She meets with everyone in the house. They get their story straight. And guess what? Michael Proctor. They're interviewed as a group. They're not interviewed individually. They're interviewed as a group. Turtleboy reads this and he's just blown away. He's baffled. There's names spelled wrong in the indictment. He read Alan Jackson, the attorney for Karen Reed, his motion, and was in shock. There were Cellbrite information, Google searches that were not reported. One of them was at 2:23 by Jen McCabe, Googling how long to die in the cold. Wow. I wonder why she was Googling that. I wonder why. Why would you Google how long to die in the cold? What purpose does that serve at 2:23 in the morning? Only because you want to know how long it's going to take for John O'Keefe to die in the cold. That's what you did. That's what you did, and that's what you got away with. And Turtleboy noticed it. Turtleboy is an advocate. Turtleboy doesn't give a flying fuck. Turtleboy stands up for what's right. So he goes and he tries to interview the witnesses in the house. He goes to Jen McCabe's daughter's lacrosse game to interview her. She laughs. She laughs. Why'd you Google how long Diana called Jen at 2:23 in the morning? 2:23 in the morning. And then again at 6:30 in the morning. She laughs. Michael Proctor had a relationship with the McCabes and the Alberts. He knew them both very well. There was a conflict of interest from the start, and the Massachusetts State Police allowed it to happen. And that's why the investigation was flawed. That's why John O'Keefe most likely will not get justice. And Turtleboy exposed it all. Aidan Kearny raised national attention for this case because he pounded the table. Over and over and over again on his YouTube channel. He talked about the case. He talked about the flaws in the case, the investigation. He talked about the mistakes made in the investigation. He talked about the lies in the investigation, mainly Karen Reed's car. Said it was towed at 5:30. Reality? Oh, it was towed an hour earlier. And then they show the garage that the Lexus SUV Karen Reed was driving was brought in with the broken tail light, allegedly. And you can see the video is inverted during the trial. And Judge Beverly Canoni, Auntie Bev, probably one of the worst judges in the history of judges. She hated Karen Reed's attorneys, Alan Jackson especially. Alan Jackson, hotshot attorney from Los Angeles, represented Kevin Spacey. Alan Jackson was one of the most, probably the most impressive attorney I've ever witnessed and had the pleasure and luxury of watching, because he didn't put up with any bullshit. He didn't buy the lies. He didn't accept stupid answers. He didn't he didn't take when Brian Albert has a call to Brian Higgins and it's a butt dial. Said he was having sex and he butt dialed him. Oh, I didn't know you could dial with your ass. You can punch in the code to unlock your phone with your ass and butt dial Brian Higgins. And Brian Higgins is an ATF agent. Brian Higgins had an office in the Canton Police Department. So immediately after, Brian Higgins, he goes and he has his chip in his cell phone completely erased by the FBI, by a friend of his. So there's no data. Very, very little. The text messages from Karen Reed. Karen Reed freaks out. John O'Keefe's taken to the hospital and pronounced dead. Karen Reed goes, and her parents come, and Karen Reed is a mess. She is suicidal. She gets sectioned. And after being released, she goes back to John O'Keefe's house to talk to the mother, Peggy, and Paul, the brother. And of course, she's given the cold shoulder. Peggy says John was hit by a car. Karen realizes she's not welcome and she leaves. And Turtleboy talked about this and he came out and flat out said, you know what? It was a mistake for her to leave the house. She probably should have stayed and she didn't because she didn't feel welcome. She didn't feel welcome. She didn't like how Peggy O'Keefe was treating her. She had a decent relationship with Paul, and she didn't like the accusations being made against her. So she left. Aidan Kearny took on this cause when the Alan Jackson filed his motion. He was expecting the Boston Globe, the Herald. He was expecting all this coverage from the media. And you know what? He got nothing. Nobody gave a flying fuck. You know when people did? They did when Turtleboy talked. They did when Turtleboy and his followers came to Karen Reed's rescue. They donated the money. They helped raise over $1 million for Karen Reed's defense. They were responsible. Aidan Kearny was responsible for Karen Reed being able to afford a great defense team. Aidan Kearny was responsible for bringing in the experts like Arca, like Dr. Welcher. I mean, it was unbelievable what he did. So he does a rolling rally in the summer, July of 2023, where he goes to all the witnesses' houses and he has an army with him of supporters. He tells them, this is a peaceful protest. Don't go on anyone's lawn. Don't go to anyone's house. We're going to be right on public property. That's legal. I mean, that was legal back when Martin Luther King was marching. That's what Aiden did. Jen McCabe, Michael Proctor, Brian Higgins, Brian Albert, Matt McCabe. You know, they go and he's on his megaphone and he's asking questions. He's calling them to come out and give answers. And for this, his followers did not let it go. They got involved. They harassed. I shouldn't say harassed. They contacted the witnesses themselves, asking for answers. Meanwhile, Michael Proctor's wife, she was calling people's work and trying to get them in trouble, trying to get them fired because she didn't like the negative publicity that was coming from her corrupt husband. Because in the immediate search, there was very, very little taillight found, and there was a cocktail glass found. In the next 40-something days or months, there's 47 pieces of taillight that is found by Chief Berkowitz, who is now deceased, found by Michael Proctor. And none of it made sense because the taillight of Karen Reed had one big crack in it. It didn't have a bunch of it. And it clearly looked like the evidence was planted. So again, Aidan Kearny does more research. He finds who plows the road that night. Lucky Laughlin. He goes down to the Canton DPW, asks for some information where these people are. gets the runaround. Lucky doesn't trust him initially. Finally, he comes forward. Aiden gets an interview with him on the record. And he says, I plowed that road at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. I didn't see a body. I never saw a body in the snow. Everyone who was at that house, 10, 12 people, leave, and the prosecution's theory is, oh, John O'Keefe, he was in the snow for hours just dying of hypothermia. Yeah, well, everyone there must have been blind, deaf, and dumb to not see a body in the snow. Or they just didn't care. Or they were covering up a murder. Just like they lied about Colin Albert, the son of Brian Albert and Nicole Albert, saying that, he wasn't at the house. He was picked up at this time, and they have a text message thread that shows that's a complete lie of when he left. He was there. He was there. And what do? You call in your buddy and you get a favor. The Proctors, friends with the McCabe's, friends with the Alberts. I need help here. I can't have my son go to jail for life. So Karen stayed for 10 minutes, left because she never heard from John. She left some nasty voicemails. John winds up dead. The universe turns against her. She's arrested twice in 2022. And again, nothing really happens for a year. She has to sell her house. They took her car. They took her electronic devices, all this. One person stood up for her. Aidan Kearny, Turtleboy. So after the rolling rally, he gets charged with witness intimidation eventually. And you can see in the discovery, because of the charges, that these witnesses were calling and emailing the district attorney of Canton, Michael Morrissey, saying, oh, please help me. Please do something. Please do something. He's talking bad about me. He's hurting my feelings. He's hurting my feelings. I need help. Can you just arrest him for something, please? So they do. They arrest him. He gets 16 indictments, something like that. He's released on his own recognizance or a small bail. And he, unfortunately, through all this, the personal struggles, he gets divorced from his wife, which ended up being the best thing that has happened to him. He's been much happier since he's been divorced. And he was seeing Lindsay Gattani, who he claimed they were just intimate together, who he, I would say, finger banged at a bar, and that was her dream come true. They would just meet and have sex and do their thing. And she apparently had a camera, and she caught him on camera, or had him on camera, having sex against the fridge. And then Lindsay Gattani turns against him one night, calls his mortal enemy, Kate Peter, and asks what to do. And they concoct this plan to get Turtleboy in trouble. And Lindsay Gattani fakes a pregnancy, says she's pregnant. Turtleboy his mind is just blown and messed up. He's like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. She's pregnant. And she sends a picture of a sonogram. She sends a picture of abortion pills. And he's like, whatever you want to do, we'll take care of it. The sonogram was from like 2021. He realizes the pregnancy was fake. They break up. She calls him to come over on December 23rd, I believe, and threatens to, she's going to have the abortion, but she wants to show him, oh, I got a grand jury summons. What do I do? And he's looking at the text messages. He knows that she betrayed him, and he understands, and he wants to help her. He says, you need to get an attorney. You can't just not get an attorney. All this happens, and she claims that he pushed her. She's on the phone with Brian Brian Higgins or Tully, and they get the police to come. Turtleboy leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning, finally, after Lindsay Gattani threatened to have an abortion at his house, in front of his wife. He leaves, he falls asleep at the wheel, and he gets in a car crash. Then there is a warrant out for his arrest. He gets to spend Christmas with his kids, and then he is arrested at his house after his kids get on the bus and goes to jail. He's in jail for 60 days. And he tells Karen Reed, I went to jail for you. So the first trial happens. Again, it was bullshit. They acquitted her on the 2 top charges. And Judge Beverly Canoni, apparently the laws in Massachusetts cease to exist. She declares a mistrial on everything. They got to do it all over again. So they come back. They get Bob Alessi. Great job. He's added to the team. They try to add Mark Betterow. They try to have some mutual discovery with Aidan Kearny with Turtleboy, because it came out that Karen Reed and him were working together, which he lied about, which he didn't want to lie about, but she did not want it known that they were in communication. It was not his choice. So 2025 happens. He has to be very careful what he does, because he's on bail. He's on, witness intimidation. He can't be within a certain amount of feet in front of these witnesses. And Karen Reed gets acquitted on everything besides an OUI bullshit. So after the trial, they go out to dinner and celebrate. Karen Reed may have thanked Turtleboy publicly, but or privately, but nothing publicly was ever said. She never made a statement. She never did anything. Alan Jackson came on his podcast, did a wonderful job, but otherwise, he should have gotten the first interview with Karen Reed, because nobody did more for her than him. Nobody believed in her more than him. She was innocent. And the reason was just because the science. ARCA is one of the leading experts in the world for accident reconstruction. And they did a bunch of different tests, and it showed that it was impossible for the prosecution's theory for how everything happened. And then you look at the autopsy photos, the bites on John's arm, from a dog. The Alberts had a dog named Chloe, who immediately got rehomed after this incident. Yeah. Turtleboy exposed all this. So throughout it, 2025, he has a relationship with Meredith O'Neill. It was up and down. They had good times, they had bad times, but it should have stayed private. And it got exposed by the people who were out to get Turtleboy. So many enemies. So many people want to get him. And it's sad. And it's pathetic that they have, and he's right. These people literally every day sit behind a computer and just try to attack him, lambaste him, and make him look bad. That's what they do. So videos were released recently that were private, that only one person really knew of and had access to. That really hurt him. Um, his relationship with Meredith O'Neill changed. Um, he filed a civil suit. He filed a motion to dismiss the indictments because prosecutor Robert Cosgrove, who's 110 fucking years old, Lindsay Gattani, one of the witnesses against Turtleboy, sues him. Basically sues him and Michael Morrissey, threatening them. If you don't protect me from Turtleboy, I'm going to sue you. So she does. Robert Cosgrove has to recuse himself. The prosecution has 30 days to find a new prosecutor. Nobody steps up. Nobody wants the case because they know it's dead in the water. And Turtleboy, unfortunately, may have cheated on Meredith or did sexting with somebody else. And he said he admitted he's not great at monogamy. The one thing about Aidan Kearny is he's honest. He's honest about what he's done. He's honest about the mistakes that he's made. And I know exactly what that's like. I've made more mistakes. I've ruined more relationships than I have. I have screwed up more relationships and than I have good ones. I have much more bad relationships. More people despise me than like me. So I know what it's like to be Turtleboy. I know what it's like. He didn't get invited to a fundraiser. He did a show at the Wilbur, which was amazing. I was so happy for him, and he deserved it. And he's like, Karen Reed is at home with her parents. When if everyone wants to see the two of them just air it out, reunite, come together, and they could make a fortune. If they did an interview together, somebody offered them, I believe, money. I think Turtleboy offered her $250,000 to do a show together, because that's what everyone wants. Everyone loves them both. Everyone wants to see them reunite, and it's just getting worse. And Turtleboy's like, I don't need her. I'm gonna live and have success with or without her. And I support him. I support him because Karen Reed has been very, very difficult to deal with. She has come off as kind of cold and unlikable. Her first appearance was on the Howie Carr show holding a book when Aidan Kearny, again, Howie Carr didn't raise millions of dollars for her defense. Turtleboy did. Howie Carr didn't go to jail. Turtleboy did. And Karen Reed said Turtleboy went to jail because he couldn't keep it in his pants. So that's sad. But people make mistakes. Aiden has made mistakes. He has been accountable and responsible for all of them. And that's the main thing. But some things you can come back from, some things you can't. And that's the one thing I've learned. The relationships that I've lost with people, things that you do, again, you can come back from them. A lot you can't. Because when you manipulate people lie to people, you lose that trust. People that you've known your entire life, they don't trust you. They don't want to be around you. And tonight for me is a perfect example of that. Nobody wants to be around me. Nobody wants to see me. So I get it. I get it. I deserve it. I did it to myself. I am fully accountable for every mistake that I've made. Fully accountable. But that doesn't make it better. It's just like Turtleboy, whatever he's done, saying you're sorry. There's nothing you can do. You can say you're sorry, but when you've said you're sorry many times, it doesn't matter. They're just words. Yeah, you're sorry. You're still going to go fuck up again. And when you would desperately do anything to try to make things right, and there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can say. Time passes, nothing changes. The distance just gets worse and worse. And it's sad, it's depressing to lose those people. And you realize it. And that's, Turtleboy has lost a lot of people in his life. He's trusted a lot of people and been betrayed. I would say that a lot of people trusted me that I have betrayed. And it's sad. It's really sad. But I know he's going to do a show tonight. And I'll be home to watch it because I was not invited out. And he's going to explain what happened with the videos. He's going to explain what happened with Meredith. And he's going to tell the truth. He's going to be completely transparent. He's going to be completely honest. But, he said things about Karen Reed. He's released some things because he's just sick of getting harassed, getting blamed for what he is not responsible for. He has receipts, he has recordings, things that he has not done that he's being blamed for. And, again, people he's controversial. He says cunt, he says retard, he upsets people, but he has a massive following. His following has grown tremendously since Karen Reed. And Karen Reed said, I made you. This case, I made you. You didn't make him. Nobody worked harder than Aidan Kearny. Nobody put in more time than Aidan Kearny. Nobody went out and fought like Aidan Kearny. He didn't take no for an answer. He fought and he fought and he fought and he never quit. He never quit on Karen Reed, regardless of how she may have treated him, regardless of what happened. He never quit on her. Even now, through the civil trials, she's being sued by the O'Keefes, and there's a whole mess going on. She filed a countersuit. Turtleboy will never turn on her because he knows this woman factually is innocent. And the science proves it. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. The autopsy photos show, and the comment was he looked like he went 10 rounds with Tyson. His face was beat up. There were no wounds that you would see typically in a car wreck. Aiden never, ever gave up on Karen Reed until now. And it's not more giving up on her. It's just he understands. He's not going to get the interview. He's got a documentary coming out on him. He's got a movie that's being made on him, and it's all well deserved. Because one guy, one man with a grassroots operation with his following went out there and was able to build a groundswell of support around Karen Reed and bring national attention to the case. Dateline, 2020. HBO Max doing documentaries. Everyone was covering this because of him. And for Karen Reed to forget that, for Karen Reed to go to this Nick Rocco and this JFK and have them be spokesmen for her are ridiculous. Turtleboy sacrificed more than anyone. Dedication, passion, hard work, enthusiasm. That's what he did for her. He is responsible that she is freed. Yeah, you can say it's the science. The experts, everyone who came, was paid by the Karen Reed Defense Fund. You know who funded that? Turtleboy and his supporters. Aidan Kearny and his supporters. Because he was on YouTube pounding the table night after night after night for Karen Reed. And the thanks he got, Howie Carr, Karen Reed on the show holding up Howie Carr's book. Alan Jackson called him the crowd daddy, interviewed him. Alan Jackson is one of the finest attorneys I've ever seen. But yeah, he made a mistake with, when he was with Leah Genduso. He made a mistake with Lindsay Gattani. He made a mistake, whatever went on with Meredith and this other chick that he allegedly was sexting. But unfortunately, human beings are flawed. They're not perfect. And I know from everything that I've done, everything that I've been through, the people that want nothing to do with me, you can't make it right. You can't make it right. You can control what you can control, and you move forward, and you hope for the best. You hope for the best. And Aidan Kearny, the good thing with him, he's going to survive this and he's going to thrive because he is one of the best. Yeah, he's controversial, but he is an entertainer. He is someone who can get on and talk for 3 hours and get 50, 70,000 viewers because he's special. And he worked overtime for that. This is a guy that has done this for 10 years to build his platform. And now he has a platform that is something just outstanding. The supporters that he has, the people that have loyalty to him, the Turtle Riders, they support him through and through. Yeah, he's lost subscribers on his YouTube channel, but any show he does, 50,000 viewers. So, Karen Reed, I know, you'll never hear anything that I have to say, but Aidan Kearny saved your life. Whether you want to believe it or not, Aidan Kearny saved your fucking life. He raised the money. And you want to say that you made Turtleboy? Turtleboy was made before you. Yeah, he gained viewers because he covered you, but nobody sacrificed and supported Karen Reed more than you, Turtleboy. Sacrificed. I'd love to see JFK. I'd love to see Shaun of the Gulf. I'd love to see all these YouTubers who are geniuses. You want to go to jail for 60 days? I'd love to see it. Switch places with Aiden. Go to jail for 60 days. How many of you would do that? How many of you would do that? I don't think one. No, you're not going to jail for 60 days like he did. But he was willing to do it because he knew what was right. And he stood up for it. And that's why I give him credit. And I feel terrible for the personal things that he's going through. You know, he lost his mom shortly after he was released from prison, from jail. He shouldn't have been there to begin with because Lindsay Gattani completely lied about being pushed, lied about having an abortion, lied about even being pregnant. And now the turmoil between Karen Reed and him, it's sad. It's sad to see. And it's sad to be kicked out of the club. It's sad to not want to be to not be wanted. But I've been there. All you can do is overcome adversity. And like I said, with relationships, some things you can come back from, there's some things you can't. And I've learned that things that I've done, I'll never come back from. I'll never have the relationships. And Turtleboy has lost the relationships too, but he's also gained some. And he's got enough loyal followers that he'll be able to get through this. And that's the beauty. He has the relationships and the followers to get through this. And when you have support like that, it's meaningful. When you don't, you're just lonely. You're alone and you're lonely. And for tonight, for me, is going to be very challenging, very difficult. Because I know that I'm not going to be wanted. I know that I'm not going to be wanted to be seen. And when you lose the people you love, your friends, people you care about, and you know you can't get them back, it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. Because you try to show you change, you try to show you do anything, and it doesn't make a difference, because when you've done so much wrong, there's no belief that you can change and do anything right. But that's what I wanted to say. I support Aidan Kearny. I support Turtleboy. Nobody's done more than him. I know that he's going through a rough patch, but he's going to get through it and he's going to thrive because he doesn't give a fuck. I wish I had that attitude where I didn't care and didn't give a fuck. I'm the one who wants to go back and fix things and repair things. And when you don't have the opportunity to, you got to learn not to give a fuck. You got to learn to move on. So, Aiden, you're one of a kind. I know the personal, private issue should not be exposed and talked about, and I'm sorry that this has happened to you. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'm sorry that the relationship with Karen Reed has deteriorated because people don't fully understand everything that you did, everything that you sacrificed, everything that you gave to make sure she's free. Meanwhile, you and your charges have gone on 3+ years. You're still facing jail time. Karen Reed isn't showing up for your hearings. Karen Reed isn't raising money for your defense fund. It's just wrong. It's wrong. But I wish that I had an opportunity to make things right. I wish that I could get that trust back. I wish that I had that friendship. People wanted me around. But you gotta have the attitude Aidan Kearny does and not give a fuck. So I will be home watching his show tonight. And not with the people I love and wish more than anything that I could talk to and try to fix. But Turtleboy, you're the best. I can't wait to see you move past this. The best is yet to come. The charges are going to get dropped. Your documentary is going to be released. Your movie's going to be released. And life will be good for you. And you deserve that. You deserve that happiness. You deserve that. I don't. I don't, and I never will. So it's going to be rough tonight. It's going to be sad. But I'm not going to be alone. I'll be watching Aidan Kearny. So this is Steve Cully, self-proclaimed best podcast host in the universe. Asshole, manipulator, liar, who nobody wants around. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.